everyone, welcome back around the corner for another episode of Draco's Weapon Corner. This time we'll be covering the next three weapons we covered in free expeditions of our second playthrough, playthrough B. We're starting off with Moonlight Beauty, not Moonlight, Moonlit Beauty, with an attack power of 118 and a guard break of 8. That's a good attack for level 1, but that's a ridiculously crummy guard break. I mean, it's not as bad as some weapons, because there are weapons like Savior Blade that only had 2 guard break, but it isn't all that much better. Well, let's look at its ability before we see it at level 4. A beautifully refined sword. Traits: powerful but lacks defensive strength, with the magic spell Sonic Burst like everything else. Okay, now let's see it at level 4. Alright, and as you can see, at level 4, Moonlit Beauty did grow a significant amount with an attack power of 124 and a guard break of 48. It still does not hold a candle to Mage's Promise, so it's not really worth your time because it doesn't have any additional perks. So, if you want to, you can just avoid it unless you're going to try and get 100% of the weapons, in which case, I guess you would get it then. Alright, let's move on to our next sword. Okay, and the next sword on our list is Thief's Secret, with an attack power of 62 and a guard break of 60. Its attack might not stand up to Moonlit Beauty, but its guard break is ridiculously higher, so it's a more balanced sword, if nothing else. Also, it has Sonic Burst like the last one. Its ability: deprives enemies of their lives and fortunes. Traits: enemies lose more money. Ah, well, Thief's Secret does have the interesting bonus of getting more money, so if you ever need to grind for gold, you could go to the Castle of the Goddess and use this weapon to wipe out all of the enemies there. Definitely be worth your time, I'm sure. But let's see it at level 4. And as you can see, Thief's Secret really doesn't grow all that much with the attack power of 70 and the guard break of 68. However, it does still have that ability where you get more gold from enemies, which is a boon if you're trying to grind up to get a particular weapon. Well, farm for gold, I should say. If you're farming for a particular weapon, or if you just want to buy some accessories that you didn't have, or whatever, really. If you need gold and you got a gold farm, this is the sword for you to use. But let's move on to our final weapon. Okay, and our first axe and final weapon of this weapon corner is Zenghose Axe. With an attack power of 128 and a guard break of 218, it's a pretty strong weapon, but it doesn't stand up to Broken Iron. It is actually the 3rd strongest axe in the game, but you should have gotten Broken Iron before you got this, so unless it has a cool ability, there's no reason for this axe. Hacked Partner Zenghose Axe possesses a great variety of attacks, but tests the wielder's skill. And it has the magical attack Vermilion Cell, which we've already seen. I forget on what kind of weapon. I know it was on a weapon before this. It wasn't an axe, though. Was it a spear? That sounds about right. But let's see it at level 4. Just cause. Okay, and as you can see, at level 4 it does grow a sizable amount, with an attack power of 158, which is plus 30 attack, and a guard break of 284, giving it 66 more guard break. It's a pretty strong axe, which is why it holds the place at the 3rd strongest axe slot. It's also technically the 3rd strongest, it's also the 3rd strongest weapon in the game. I forgot to mention that. But it still doesn't hold a candle to our strongest axe and weapon, Broken Iron. But with that, that'll end this episode of Weapon Corner here. See you next time you come around the corner.